All right, so welcome to the press conference for the 2024 Fox US Open of mountain biking and also the final stop of the Monster Energy Pro Downhill Series. We're excited to be here. What an amazing season. I'd like to introduce Clay Harper, our series director and a mastermind behind the entire event and the season. So Clay, please come up and share some of the stats and some of the things that you're proud of on today.
Yeah, got some more time. All right, well, this was huge U.S. Open for us. Since the U.S. Open has returned in 2017, we haven't seen this type of crowd or athlete participation. So we'll run through a few stats. 550 racers on the day today. We had 113 in the Pro Open class for men, 38 in the Pro Women class, Pro Open Women class, which is huge. That's the biggest women's race we've seen all year long in the Pro Downhill Series, so we're pretty proud of that number. And the competition was really good. On the amateur side, we had the two biggest categories, which has been trending all year, Cat 1 17-18, 58, Cat 1 15-16 at 50 riders. And one caveat to this, the event sold out for amateurs, so we actually probably could have had upwards of 100 in each category. Worth noting, just to the strength of downhill here in the U.S. right now. Total prize purse on the day was $65,150 paid out to these athletes, which included a new award for us, the BOA Dialed In Award, which went to the fastest time for amateur male and female, 2,500 each, which was a pretty sweet thing we got to throw into the U.S. Open. And the SR Sun Tour Whole Shot Award was doubled to $1,000 each, men and women, for the fastest time in the first split. Overall, the event was wildly successful, I would say, with the fan base we had here. Estimated upwards of 10,000 over the past 2 days, which is pretty good for us with the U.S. Open. I think that exceeded last year's by probably about 25% on the fan base, and we were approximately 35% over on the ridership, which was pretty sweet too. So all in all, strong event. I'm gonna kick it back to Lars, and we'll start talking to these athletes. Thanks.
Hell yeah, Clay.
Clay, a big round of applause for you. Your vision has been inspiring, and I think you've got Mr. Humble, and you've got a great team that really believes in what you're doing, and that's why we're all here. And Dante, what a season for you. You've been at all 4 rounds, just absolutely setting every race course on fire. We heard you talk about, making the chase for the money. How are you feeling right now? You're sitting here as the first series overall winner in the elite men's category. How are you feeling right now?
Yeah, I mean, I feel great, and it was obviously the goal all season long, but I think today was like really when it counts, and all of the pressure's on the shoulders to just, not throw it away, because it's downhill, so it's super easy to just lose it. So yeah, super stoked to have put down a good run today and clinch that overall. And I mean, that's what I was going for, but it's nice to actually have the day come.
Yeah, so we talked a little bit about while you were sitting on the hot seat, the mental battle you had. Do you go all in, full send, go for the best finish ever, or do you conserve energy, can kind of ride conservative and try to lock up the series? So tell us a little bit about that mental battle that you were faced before dropping in.
Yeah, today I definitely was a hard decision to make, and it was just I was doing pretty well in the points overall, as in like I had a pretty decent gap. So I knew that I definitely had it if I had a good run, but it was also one of those where it's like I didn't want to just ride conservative and then get like 30th place today, and then I'd be bummed on today's result, even though I still got the overall. So, I mean, I rode well and I pushed it and didn't hit the ground and still got the overall. So, I mean, I really couldn't ask for much more.
Awesome. So we have a microphone right here. We would love to welcome any and everyone to come up and ask questions for Dante.
Dante, first, congratulations. I think this is really awesome that you guys are supporting this race series. So you've got the title, you've got the trophy. What are you going to remember more, the bag that you've just won or that trophy sitting in front of you?
I think I'll definitely remember the trophy. I mean, this thing's pretty legit, and it looks like I just won like the Supercross overall or something like that. So yeah, it's super sick, and stoked to have been a part of this, the start of this series, and stoked to grow with the series as the series is going to get bigger too. So yeah, stoked to be a part of it.
And what does it mean for your confidence, you think, moving forward, being able to have a title like this? Like you said, there was actually a lot of pressure on your shoulders, even though you had a lead. You still had to bring it home. What do you think this will do for your confidence leading into next year and for your career?
I think it's just a good thing, or a good result and place to have on my resume. I mean, it's a overall leader of the national series. I mean, this is our only national series, so it's good to, you know, technically be the one of the top guys in the U.S. And I mean, I'm definitely going to be doing these races in this series in the years coming forward. So being the inaugural champion is super sick.
And do you think there's a world where riders potentially focus just on this series as their be-all and end-all?
I think that world where we focus on this series is very present, and it might be something that will be already happening next year. So yeah, it's cool to be a part of the first season of it, especially because I think it's just going to get bigger, and I think it's going to become a series that riders only race this series and still get paid to do it.
Yeah, well, congrats, and enjoy that bag. Don't spend it all in one day.
Thanks, Needles.
For people that are coming up and asking questions, so Andrew, for next time, just introduce yourself, and then this isn't on camera, obviously it's going to make the editing cut floor, but introduce yourself, and then if you want to be asking on behalf of Vital or on behalf of Moving the Needle or whatever you want, just kind of put it there because it translates really sick for the show.
Brother.
Jack Clark from Friday Junior. Dante, after a great performance today, what are you going to do to celebrate this overall?
Well, I got a little money on the Ravens and Bills game tonight, so got to make sure I clench that. And then, I don't know, I hear that it might be something going on at the distillery. Just going to try not to get too messed up for MSA next week.
Perfect, thank you.
Thanks, Jack.
Dante, my man. Jack Rice from Vital MTB. Dante, how does it feel to be the first of first to get the overall for this series?
Yeah, I mean, it feels good. I had to show up to all the races this year and do decent at every single one, and I was happy to just be able to clinch it this race. I mean, I feel like this race was the one that actually I felt like had a lot of pressure, and it was just one where it was really easy to throw away too, and there was a lot of top guys, so it's, you know, easy to get in your head, but super stoked to be the first of many champions.
Awesome. Well, I hope you do it again and keep at it, and congrats, bro. That's all I got.
Thanks, Jack.
Rich with Gravity Cooperative. Dante, huge congratulations. You've had a whole season to race this series. You've had the experience. You're taking home the overall. Coming back next season, you've already stated that you're excited to do this series again. We've got a lot of youngsters that are coming on pretty fast, a lot of guys in the 15, 16, guys and gals. What sort of advice do you have for them racing next year? Is this a series that you would really push them towards?
My advice for the young crew coming in the States is just, you know, keep at it. I mean, this is a very legit series that we have now in the States, which is super cool, and every event feels like a legitimate event with sponsors and money and top riders. So just keep at it and be stoked on the progress that you're making in the season during the series, because it's legit, and if you're committed, it'll pay off.
All right. Dante, congrats, man.
Thank you. I'm going to go get drunk.
Don't forget your trophy.
And they're still recording.
That makes it to the top. All right, we're here at the Fox US Open of mountain biking, and we've got our 3 elite women podium finishers. Absolutely incredible performances from all 3 of you. You guys kept us at the edge of our seats all day. So unbelievable performances. We want to learn a little bit more about what your thoughts are on a day, and I'd like to welcome anyone up to ask any questions.
Austin Hoover from Fox Racing / Steel City Media West. Nina, this question's for you. So we're on a three-peat. What's the magic that you feel here in Killington?
I'd also like to know this.
Well, what's the magic? Maybe it's the people around here that are driving me. I always like to come to the US, to races in the US, because the crowd is amazing and cheers you on pretty well. And obviously there's a big prize money on the line as well, so this kind of fires you up. It's not a World Cup, but it's still an important race, and I love to win. So every race I compete in, I'm there to win and not to go second or something. So just trying to push for it. And I think on that track it's quite physical, especially at the bottom. And maybe I've got good legs down there. I kind of saved it there today. Pedaled a bit harder than usual. Yeah, well, I don't know.
You had a bit of a mishap. I don't know if you've told everybody, but what happened up there?
Well, I mean, yesterday in my qualies run, I fully stopped on a tree, so that was not ideal. But today was a slightly smaller mistake. Just washed the front in one of the corners and clipped out of my pedal and rode the next, 100 meters or whatever, unclipped. And kind of didn't carry good speed through there, so I knew that was not ideal. And it's going to be tight today because it's dry and every girl's going to get the speed up a little bit. Yeah, so when I came out in the open before the big jump and the moves, I was like, get on your pedals now, get it together. And it was so tight. I think 0.3 or something, wasn't it? Yes. So, yeah.
Shout out to the maple syrup as well.
Oh, I love the smell of maple syrup.
Andrew Nedling from Moving the Needle podcast. Congrats to all you ladies, and it was that close. So, Ali, you said 0.3, but it was actually 0.25. Is that something you expected coming into this week?
I did not at all. I was just here to have fun. I love this race. It's always one of my I'd say it's my favorite race of the year. It's always so high pressure, and I love pressure. But I did not expect it to be that close, because I think Lou wasn't that far behind me either. We were all like in a second. It was really, really tight.
And what do you think this will do for your confidence moving forward?
I think it only helps. I think that racing against some really competitive women that are out doing amazing things definitely boosts the confidence a little bit.
Yeah, it's really impressive seeing it so close. And Lou, for you, what were your goals coming into the week?
Yeah, I was here for a bit of fun as well. I was hoping I would give me some good prep for MSA. So a bit of a physical track and heaps of competition as well. So I didn't expect there to be that many World Cup women show up. But yeah, it's always good. Yeah, just to have a tight battle and see some new faces. So yeah, I'm blown away by it, the whole event, and yeah, just really happy with third place. So.
Awesome. Nina, is it sometimes more difficult to perform when you're the one that should be winning? You know, the expectations are for you to win. Did you feel that at all?
Yeah, obviously. It is hard to get to the top, but it's even harder to stay on the top. And that's kind of how it feels here. Now I won 2 times, and like before today. And I was like, everybody's expecting me to win. But at the same time, it's a kind of easy track, and it's a pretty flat track. So as soon as you make a mistake in one of the corners, it's hard to get back to speed, and you actually lose quite a bit of time, and you can't really get easy and quick on your pedals to make to get back to speed. So I knew I had to do a kind of clean run to make it happen, and definitely puts pressure on you, but it still feels less pressure than on a World Cup somehow. So I could handle it quite well today, and I was actually in a pretty good headspace today. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the vibe looked great out there. Speaking of mistakes, you had some on track, and most races will. It's difficult to go perfect, but the mistake you made on the podium, what have you learned from that, and what will you do next year?
Mistakes are there to learn from, yeah. And maple syrup in this big amount in my mouth is not ideal. Struggle to swallow. Well, okay, that was a bit. Should I maybe repeat this?
I mean, thank goodness it's not live, to be very fair, but we've all had a good time, so congrats to all the ladies. We'll just hope the editors sort that bit out.
Well, we can leave it as it is. I'm fine with it.
What are you going to do with all your maple syrup?
Hi, ladies. Meg Proctor with BOA. Congratulations to all of you. Nina, specifically, great to see you on the podium. As a pro, how does it feel to give away a Dialed In award and be influencing the female bike community?
I was really stoked when I heard that BOA came up with that idea to give away an amateur award, and actually quite a big check as well. So I think this is just gonna froth all these youngsters up and keep them motivated to push for fast times and kind of shed some light on them as well. And I was stoked that I could hand over the check and the prize. So yeah, I really like the idea. I really like the event at all, like coming up with so many cool ideas around not only a race itself, but like the whole shot, like the thing you did. And yeah, it just makes it a whole better event, I think.
How do you individually hope to influence the female bike community and see it evolve?
I just hope when they see me riding and racing and that I enjoy what I'm doing, that they're gonna enjoy what they're doing and keep doing it. And yeah, hopefully get a few more females into riding bikes and racing bikes, because we need more women. And I want more women on the World Cups racing against me. And there's a lot of women coming right now. There's a lot of juniors coming up. So yeah, it's just so nice to have such a good competition. I mean, we've been, I think, 0.5 between the top three of us today, and it's great to see that it's not like, oh yeah, you only won because there was no competition going on, you know.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Rich with the Gravity Co-op. Ladies, congratulations. Awesome racing today. Tight times, great spectating for sure. I know all the fans really appreciated it. This question is for Lou. You have never raced in Killington, and you haven't raced a pro downhill series before or a US Open before. How was the event for you? What were your highlights?
Yeah, it is my first time racing in Killington, and one of the things that stood out for me was everyone shouting my name as I rode down on my finals. So I don't know anyone here, and everyone, I don't know if they're just watching the live timing or actually were following the race, but it was really cool. Like, I don't get that at a World Cup that much, so yeah.
That's the American fans.
Yeah, they're so passionate, and I can see that with the race organisers and everyone involved, that there's a lot of love and yeah, and really good racing as well. So the track was tricky to race. I had a couple crashes yesterday, and I don't think I was the only one, so it was a good challenge, and yeah, just really happy I made the trip. So
Awesome.
I'll be back.
The stars align. You'll be back?
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
Well, hopefully we have another question or two, but I have one for Allie. You've been on a tear in the series, but this installment was a little different. All of a sudden you've got a lot of your competitors coming from overseas. So you knew the battle that was going on throughout the season with Eris, and you guys were kind of playing musical chairs on the podium a whole bunch, and always within a half a second. Again, you guys did it today. So coming into today, seeing the rider list, did you come in with a different mindset, or did you expect to deliver the way you did? Like, what was different about today's race and the finals for you such an unbelievably stacked field?
I don't think I came in with a different mindset. I think I came in with I know I've raced this race before, and that I know I can handle what I'm going. Like, I know that I can go through a course, and I can mentally just keep myself there. I was singing down the course. Let's just say that. That's what kept me together, I think. But I knew that in the end, I wasn't really focused on having like the best result against these really, really elite athletes that are very successful. I was more probably focusing on, hey, I really need to beat Eris. She is so hard to beat. First time not having her up here, and I already miss her. But yeah, I was mostly kind of set on the overall. That was my main goal, because that's what I've been working toward all year, like Dante said. Just kind of didn't want to throw that away. But I'm really stoked for how it turned out.
Excellent. Any other questions for these absolute rock stars over here? All right. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
We now have our men's elite podium finishers. Awesome job, guys. Absolutely kept us on our toes all day. It was really exciting to see that. I'd like to welcome anyone up to ask any questions, to see what you have, see what your thoughts are on the day.
Congrats, everyone. Andrew Netting from Moving the Needle podcast, and apparently Steel City Media South. Cool. Hopefully there's a check in the post for that plug. I've obviously got to start with you, Lockie. It wasn't long ago you were in a tent on the side of a mountain of Schladming. You not wearing any shoes. Did you ever contemplate like winning the US Open this short few years after that? Like, you've really come from sort of humble beginnings and privateer life.
I mean, I don't come here to not try to win. I guess like that's the goal when you come to a race, is to win, and just like do the best I can do. So I've been pretty lucky with the people I've had around me, from there till now. Like, good family and good bunch of people around me. And just really, it's not just me that's got to how I've gone this year. It's everyone around me, and like including boys like these, like everyone's so good to each other and helping each other out, and it's just pretty stoked to finally be riding good and getting good results.
I mean, I can hear how humble you are, but at what point do you start believing and knowing that you can win? Like, it's tough to be humble and I think that confident inside. When did you think that you could start winning races this big?
I mean, I think you can still be humble and believe you can win. Definitely today I believed I could win. But it's been a good year after a shit couple of years of injury and things like that. So I had a good pre-season and some good races at World Cups, and started to believe I could be up there. It's definitely hard every time. Still now, when I'm up the top with these big boys, and I'm like, far out. It's pretty thankful to be there, to be honest, because I've grown up watching everything, and it's been my dream to be there, and so I just try to enjoy it and don't let it eat me up.
So what does self-talk look like before a race for you then, at the top of a hill in a moment like that, knowing you were 2 seconds up in seeding with a big paycheck on the line and a good accolade for your career that it was on the line there?
Not a lot of self-talk, to be honest. Just had Frida's e-bike at the top, so I was just doing laps of the jump track. Just trying to listen to music, just keeping it pretty chill. I don't tend to talk bad to myself. I have pretty good self-belief. It's just I know how to ride a bike, so just go do the best I can do, and hopefully it's good. Can't control what these boys do, and I'm sure there'll be times where they put time. Well, there has been many times where they've put time into me. So it changes so fast in downhill, and I just always try to be the best I can be on the day, and
what it will be is what it will be.
Yeah, and speaking of visualization, that is like a big tactic for racing. Have you visualized yourself on the podium doing a shoey of that magnitude?
No, the only visualization I do is just off the racetrack. Yeah, people were yelling shoey. Got told I had to drink the maple syrup. Figured if I put some champagne in there too, it might dilute it a little. And it tasted all good, to be honest. So.
Yeah, congrats, man. Dak, you have won here before. It must hurt a little bit sitting there in second. There was a quote on my podcast, keep hiring youngsters and I will keep beating them. Unfortunately today, is this just fuel to that fire?
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, it for sure is. I don't race to not try to win. I mean, of course, we, as athletes, that's why we work so hard. I think today, man, I was really happy with my run, and I turned around, I seen 2.5 up at the second split, and I was like, ooh, big job. This kid here, I mean, I've been hanging around with the union and the Steel City media crew for quite some time. They've been so nice to let me stay and ride, and they've been a huge supporter of my career. And I've watched Lockie ride from when he was a junior, watched him fight through injuries, watched him get third at a World Cup podium at Leogang. And I've been a big fan of Lockie for a long time as both a human and as an athlete. The kid has an awesome mentality and he works super hard. And when you see yourself, you put down the best run you can and you're really excited, and then you see somebody do something special like Lockie did today. I think his run was pretty extraordinary on such an easy track, so to speak. He would have had to have been extraordinary and right at the limit to go the speed he did. So on a day like today, if it was 2:10s, yeah, I'd be pretty upset, and I turn around and see him put a ride like that down. You can't help but be proud of the kid. And man, it sucks getting beat. I work super hard to win. But when you have a ride like that, you just have to respect it and give him a pat on the back and say good job. And that's, I think, all we can do today. Kid earned it.
And what's it like seeing this series now, sort of in the first year, so professional? I mean, we were here at a press conference. What's it like being American, seeing this growth that could happen, and what do you think the future could look like?
Yeah, it's really cool to see. We've said for a long time, man, we need a really good American downhill series, and it's cool to see somebody step up and say, I'll be the guy to do it. And Clay and his whole team is like, busted their backs to put this series together. And man, like even for me, like I raced the first round. In the second round, I really hope I can do, or the first and the last round, I hope I can do more next year. It's just, man, there's a lot of people that say, I know, and there's people that say, yeah, I'll do it. And that's a lot of work. And it's really cool to see, and I think it's our job to support that. And it's cool to see so many people in the industry supporting the series. And, dude, it's no joke. First year of anything is hard, and I think if we can continue to see good tracks, good competition, and days like today, man, this is really good training. Like my run today would have done, I think, well at a World Cup. I would like to think that. And I didn't win. And we have, like, look at the competition we have today, and the whole field is stacked way back in the results list. There's dudes that have won World Cups that aren't sitting up here today. It's just cool to see the whole industry support it. It's cool to see competition like this, and I really hope we can have more of it.
Yeah, well said. I agree. And Ocean, it's awesome to see you come over the pond and be here. You had some tough years there with injuries, and then you had the breakout win. What's it like to find this consistency and be up here at a press conference and do well at a track you haven't seen before?
Yeah, I think obviously experience, getting a small few years coming out of junior and stuff, it's a big change. And I think just every year you gain a little bit more. You learn, like, personally what works for you, what doesn't work, warm-up stuff, like what do you do before the race, like mentally wise. And yeah, I like actually coming to America, like snowshoe last year, racing in snowshoe as a junior. I just seem to like racing in the US. I think it's almost more exciting, having like to travel over everything's like the fans go wild, and yeah, the series this weekend has like basically ran on time like the whole way through. Everything's been super dialed, and yeah, I'm well impressed.
Yeah, you seem to do well on these types of tracks, and all tracks for that matter, but do you think that is from riding certain tracks in Ireland? Like, do you need to maintain speed there more? Like, they're not as steep, I would guess? Because it is a certain riding style that helps you do well here.
Yeah, usually the stuff at home is like kind of steep and short, but I seem to always go pretty good on the flat stuff for some reason, whether I'm pumping whatever way, I don't know. But yeah, I like snowshoes pretty flat in spots, here's pretty flat, so yeah, I actually enjoy the flatter tracks, you could say. Leogang is a bit flat up in the middle, so yeah.
Awesome. Boys, we've got to get to it. What are we buying? Come on. Some exciting answers here. Come on.
What do you reckon?
How many sheep could you buy for 15 grand back in New Zealand?
I think they're about $100 a head.
Yeah.
So what's that? 150 sheep? Is that the math right? Yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe that. I
Well,
don't know.
yeah.
150 sheep's a fair bit. It'd take a good month to get through.
Get through? What
Yeah,
are you
like
gonna-
sharing them, you know, for the wool.
With your mates?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got the boys down to the shed.
All right.
And yeah, we get through them in a month or so. probably.
Okay. Good to know. Dak? What motocross bike you buying?
I bought a Stark last week.
Really? Did you?
Yeah, that wasn't cheap. Luckily, the boys at Stark are looking to help me out a little bit, so yeah, you can say I'm getting on the electric bandwagon. But yeah, the goal is to try to, continue to. I'd like to have a rental house at some point in time, so that's moving in the right direction for that. At least then I'm not taken out of the savings to pay for the Stark. Hopefully keep the savings account towards the rental house.
Smart man, but it seems like you bought something before coming here, so you're pretty confident in taking the win, I guess.
Ah, man. Hey, deals don't wait. You got to jump on them.
There we go. Ocean, you look like you got pretty fancy kicks on. Do you like shoes, watches? What are you going to spoil yourself with after all this hard work?
I wanted to buy a Polaris or a Can-Am, but obviously even Lockheed's, I was kind of aiming for the 15 Gs to get me there, but we're still a little short from a Can-Am or a Polaris, but we're getting closer, hopefully. Maybe Mont Saint Anne I could get the prize money for the Can-Am.
You could, but you're not going to get as much as
No.
here. But no, congrats to you guys. Jokes aside, really awesome to see you guys support the series, and all the best for the future.
Thank you. Thank you.
Jack Clark, Friday Junior, and intern at Steel City Media. Dak, talking point all week's been the whoops. Do you think that bar height helped you lean back, stay on, not
I
no
think
risk?
I was 2 whoops short of jumping the whole rack in my race run. I sprinted in, and I got pretty close to the end. It would have been pretty cool to jump them all, so good thing they made them long. When I stood there and looked at them on track walk, I was like, man, they're pretty uphill, and there's a lot of them. So I went to the jumping method. Maybe went to the jumping method too soon. Some boys were also jumping through the whoops, like Marvin. So I don't know. Whoops were good. We like whoops.
Perfect. Can you delve a bit deeper in the mind games Lucas Shaw brought this week? I know it's a tough competition between the two Americans, but
Yeah, it was tough. I think Luca was playing with me a little bit. I heard some rumors of some late nights. Clearly, by his performance today, that might not have been the case. He's taken up this new method of FaceTime without speaking. He has a drink in his hand when he's FaceTiming. I don't know if he's trying to set the precedent that he's taking it easy, but clearly by his result today, he was not taking it easy. And to be fair, he did smoke me in the parking lot on a shotgun. So really, Luca's the winner today.
perfect. And yeah, I see we're all joking about, but like the good times of this event, is it something that you enjoy?
Yeah, I mean, the U.S. Open, I've had so much fun here. Over the years, like with it being at Mountain Creek or now it being here at the Beast at Killington Mountain, it's really cool that we can all race, and it's so high stress, but it's such a, at the same time, laid back environment. The pits, I mean, every parking lot at this mountain was packed. They were parking people on the road. I mean, there's a crazy. I mean, my sister didn't race. She tried to sign up. Her class was full. All the classes were full, and they were There was running out of parking, and the race was, man, so many people, such a good energy, a really good vibe, and overall for such a high stress race, it was really fun to come here and have a good time, and then at the end of the week feel the pressure to perform. I think that the environment is so high stress, but at the same time you can have a lot of fun, so it's really the racing we're looking for.
Perfect. And Ocean, we know Ronan's won to crack a couple of Red Bulls before a race run, but was there any monsters at the top of yours?
Yeah, I actually crack a monster for the last maybe 2 years, one before each, that I diluted maybe with some water, and me and Jack Meyer, he kind of got me on it with being a monster athlete, and yeah, I've just been doing well since I started drinking it, I suppose. So when I get into a routine, I don't change it.
Perfect. And finally, Lockie, how's being back to the roots with no shoes after throwing them off the stage?
Yeah, all good. I just it's the usual walking around without shoes at home. Everyone thinks you're not normal, but nah, it's all good. Yeah, threw the shoe, and the kid came and asked me to sign it. And what good's one shoe? So yeah, hopefully he's got some shoes to wear.
And
shoeless at Mount St. Anne.
Yeah.
Nah, hopefully Austin will sort me out with some fresh ones.
Perfect. Thank you.
Joe Bowman from Union Steel City Media North. Dak, you've been honorary 5th or 6th team member for the Union for a few years now. What's your best Lockie story over the years? I know it's a big question.
My best Lockie story? You mean Sid?
Sid, sorry, yeah.
My best Sid story. Oh, man. I'm just going to say it was really an honor to see the alliance of Sid and Walker Shaw over the years. May here has really done some incredible performances on and off the racetrack. None to speak of in Cafe Show, but over the years, man, the biggest performance I've seen from my friend Lockie here is just fighting back from adversity, seeing him get hurt and then come back. At one point in time, not fully able to come back, but he's just always had this make it happen mentality. I think you've seen some of that today. And man, just seeing this guy come back from adversity is the biggest thing that I've really admired from Lockie over the years.
Lockie, I was going to say, based off Dak's thing, when we were here last year, you couldn't even do track work, could you? How does it feel kind of fast forward in a year to standing on the top step?
Yeah, pretty good. It's been, last year was pretty hard, to be honest. Even contract year, didn't race the whole year pretty much, and pretty lucky that everyone's stuck by me. And yeah, I don't know. I think I just feel, it's good. I'm happy, and it's. I mean, I love it. It's not really a chore. The work and stuff like that, I love it all, and we're pretty lucky to be able to do this. So it's been good, and I've enjoyed it. Just the whole process of not really sure if I'm even going to be able to race next year, to be on a team next year, to they stuck behind me and everyone's stuck behind me, and I've been able to have a decent year.
Nice. What's the goal for next week?
I mean, I want to, like I said before, you don't go to lose. So I'll just go out there and have the best week and keep having fun and put the best run I can down. And we'll see where it brings us. I'd love to win, but so does everyone else, and it's that competitive. So yeah, I just go do the best I can and do everything I can to win. And whether it works or whether I get 20th, as long as I've try not to be too pissed off if I've done the best I can be, because it's not like these guys are squids.
Thank you.
Austin Hoover, Fox Racing, Steel City Media West. For each of you guys, hey, like, y'all have spent a lot of time on the World Cup circuit, and obviously with the Pro Downhill Series coming in now, and that's all super exciting, but as the US Open as a standalone event, what's something that each of you guys have enjoyed about this weekend?
Probably with just obviously how well it's ran on time. Everything's been sick, and it's nice to see riders actually get paid well and properly.
Yeah, I mean, like he said, the event's run really well. And it's cool to come to a race where everyone's a wee bit chiller, you know, like there's a lot of money on the line, which is sick because we don't have that at a World Cup. But it's way more riding with your mates at this race than, you know, everyone's a little less tense and just kind of riding for fun. Not as, there's not as much, everyone's less tense, and it's been fun, and the races run really well. Good people, fans are pretty good, and it's pretty fun racing in America.
I think the big thing for me is just how fun the event is. You know, we go to a World Cup and we, like, in all reality, we can make a lot of money racing at a World Cup if we do well. And yeah, there is a bit more depth to the field for sure because it is a World Cup. But man, coming to race in America with all the fans, all the people that are like so stoked, and for me, it's definitely biased being American and having like all the hometown crowd and like fans, and people are stoked and, you know, have won this race a couple of times. People are like, oh yeah, you know, there's all the chatter. But with all of that, it's just such a laid back racing environment. You know, we go to the distillery and have a couple drinks and some chicken wings and, you know, stay up too late talking to your mates, and you're staying in an Airbnb with your friends and just overall spending time together, and then you get to ride together, and it's a really fun environment. You know, it's like, yeah, it's high pressure and there's like all the chatter, but at the same time, like, it's really fun to be here racing with your friends. And, you know, I started doing this because I loved racing with my friends and traveling around America and with my buddies and riding hardtails between races. And then you go to the World Cups and it's like, man, you're like on edge all the time. So to get back to like why I started racing downhill and like the true spirit of downhill and just having a good time with your friends, riding and punching out a race run at the end of the weekend, and you know, you high five your friends that do really good. That energy is like why I race downhill, and I think that energy is really prevalent here at this event. It makes it super fun.
Amazing. Lockie, have you maxed out your union bonuses for the season?
Well, actually, I've only finished one race where I got a bonus. I've been on some good pace, but I've thrown it away every race run. So I don't know. I think I got a little more maybe. We'll try and max out on it in MSA
next week.
Yeah.
Congrats, boys.
Cheers.
Nice work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jack Rice, Vital MTB. Congratulations, boys. This question's for Lockie. Lockie, with a run like that, were there any like bobbles or mistakes, or did you feel like that was like a clean run?
That was definitely I think that was the fastest run I could have done today.
Yeah.
There was definitely stuff in there that was like far out, bro.
Yeah.
But nothing that cost me any time.
Okay.
Just like oversteering corners, or I could feel I'm on the edge of both wheels on some flat turns. But no, it was good. I left no time out there.
Sick. Awesome. And I guess maybe one at a time. I just thought of it, but like this track isn't like a World Cup track or anything. Did you guys have to like make drastic changes to your bike setups, or did you just run what you usually do, or maybe? Yeah, go ahead.
To be honest, yeah, like we don't have any World Cup tracks like this, but it's actually it's a pretty hard track to there's a lot more consequence to making a little mistake on a track like this.
Right.
With no gradient, and there's so many things that you can just catch your wheel on that can slow you down a lot, and pretty easy to lose a lot of time here. But no, I made little changes with the SRAM dudes, but
cool.
Yeah, I actually quite enjoyed racing a track like this. It's pretty challenging.
Yeah.
In the way of being able to ride fast.
Because, like, you make one bobble and it's just that much harder to get back up to speed type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no, you don't got no steep chute to
save you.
Take you back fast.
Or Dakota, do you make any?
Yeah, overall, just moving the balance of the bike. Obviously, I run quite high handlebars and a soft fork, but in this this moment, the rear of the bike was pretty low. So I sprung up and made some rebound changes. We did some tire testing with the Maxxis guys last week, and I was able to run some stuff we've been working on, which is exciting. Overall, just trying to get traction because it was slippery all week and keep the bike moving through sharp edges. Like, with the track being like, I mean, it's definitely not easy. Like, take that word with a grain of salt. But with the track being a bit simpler, let's say, if you do make a mistake, man, the consequences are super hard. You know, I like hit my rims a couple of times, and you can just feel yourself losing speed, and you're trying to pump back up to speed. So you have to be precise, and you have to be on your mark. Like, because you have to carry so much speed and generate speed, the times are fairly tight. Obviously, our boy here found a lot more than we did, but it's just being on your A game to be on the podium. This race, if you make one critical mistake, the time's gone. You're not going to find it somewhere, like by taking risk or just absolutely sending it. So you have to be on your A game, and you can't leave any time up there.
Roger that. Ocean?
Yeah, this weekend for me was actually quite basic. Didn't really change that much. Just a small bit with the starting off wet and then going to dry, change pressures, changing. But yeah, I just wanted to enjoy racing, riding this week. So I was just doing laps with some of the other boys and enjoyed it, and just didn't want to stress about changes.
Sweet. Awesome. Last thing, if you had to pick an animal to name your race run, what animal would it be? It's okay. Take your time.
I would probably go with a deer, just because not many people know. Oisín actually means deer in Irish.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Sick, Ocean. Dakota, please.
I was a polar bear.
Oh my God.
Whatever that's worth.
It's perfect. Lucky. Sheep?
Yeah, I guess sheep, because,
right.
yeah, fuck knows.
Yep, fair enough.
I don't really know a whole lot about animals, so.
Appreciate you, boys. Congratulations. And, see you in Montana.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One of the amazing things about the Fox US Open of mountain biking and the Monster Energy Pro Downhill Series is creating an environment to foster just a place for the top amateur athletes. And it's a really cool award that I'd like to have Clay Harper introduce, BOA Dialed In Award.
All right, so this one's pretty cool. As Lars mentioned, the US Open and the Pro Downhill Series itself are really focused on providing opportunities not only for pro athletes but for up-and-coming amateurs, right down to the fact that with this series we have started to pull some kids up into the pro class in America early. And one of our new partners, BOA, came on board and wanted to help us really highlight that. So the BOA Dialed In Award was designed to give the fastest male and female amateur $2,500 prize on the day for that. So basically how that works is it works across multiple categories. So the winner could be from Cat 1, 15, 16, 17, 18. I mean, it could have been from a 13 or 14-year-old, anything. And basically, it's just the fastest time of an amateur, $2,500, male and female, equal prize. It's a super it's a super new thing. Like it's really crazy. I think we actually turned some heads with it. It was late to be announced. I don't think these athletes even knew that they had an opportunity to win that kind of cash today. But we're proud to hand this one out, and I'm excited to hear what these guys have to say.
Jack Clark, Friday Junior, Steel City Media. Chris, coming to America, racing here, some tough competition. Can you talk about the booing from the American fans when you crossed the line in your race run today?
Well, just got told about that. I didn't really hear that, but yeah, guess they just don't like the Mafia, don't they?
Yeah, how does it feel to win? And yeah, you've had a tough year so far, but is it pretty sweet?
Yeah, I mean, the season didn't start really well, but on the way through it, just got back to where I was, and it's going good now. So hopefully next week in Monsanang goes well as well, and just end up the season with a good result.
What are you going to spend the $2,500 on?
Probably add some more money and buy a dirt bike.
Perfect, thank you.
Austin Hoover, Fox Racing, Steel City Media West. Chris, how old are you?
18.
18. Cammie, how old are you?
I'm 15.
15. Insane. What a cool award. Cammie, you're from BC, correct?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, it's such a cool opportunity to be able to live in such a great place. Like, I've got so many friends that bike, and it's really cool to just go, and I don't even have to text or call anyone. I can just see them there, and we can be like, do you want to ride? So.
Is this your first time in Killington?
Yeah, it is.
Awesome. What did you think? Like, you're coming from the West Coast, obviously coming over to the East Coast. What did you think of the track, the scene? How's it differ from what it's like back home?
I honestly love the trees here. They're so colorful. The track it's really fun. It's a bit different because it's wider. Like, there's a lot more line choice than I would usually have. And I don't really know. It's a lot. It's so much fun.
Congrats to both of y'all. Nice work out there.
Meg Proctor with BOA and Steel City West. Congratulations to both of you. It was an honor to see you both receive this award. What would $2,500, like, how does that change things for you as an amateur? Cameron, you can start. Cammie, sorry.
I've never really won that much money before. It's kind of crazy. How
are you going to spend it?
I'm probably going to save it for racing or try to do something with it that'll help my career biking.
Cool. And Chris, I know you're on the union team already as a junior, so how does this look for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to win some money. It surely doesn't hurt, eh? But yeah, I mean, stoked on it. It's always good to have some money, and yeah, hopefully I could add some more and buy a dirt bike with that.
Cool.
Jack Rice, Vital MTB, Steel City Media, Northeast, Gravity Co-op, Northeast. Chris, when you get like a prize like this, does it make you want to like come back, or just for that, or what?
I mean, definitely it's not for the money that I like to race my bike, or it's not what I think when I'm about to drop in. I'm like, oh, that's the money on the prize, I just go for it. But surely it feels good when you do well, have a good result, and you even get paid for that. It's definitely a really good feeling, I'd say.
Awesome. That's awesome. Cammie, did you think that you were going to win? Or
No.
did you know actually that this was a something that was going on?
No, I didn't. I actually had no idea.
That's funny. Did you, Chris?
No, I actually haven't.
Oh, so this is a
I
surprise.
got told when I was after my run, someone knew about it, and I kind of got told, but
When did you get told?
I was just like after my race run.
Oh man, that's awesome. All right, so I think I heard someone ask what you're spending it on, but I'm curious, are you gonna blow it all before you reach Canada, or are you going to hang on to a little bit?
Nah, probably not. It'll be better to save them and spend them on something useful.
Maybe some spray cans or something like that?
Yeah, could do.
There you go.
That'll be good.
Cammy, you think you'll make it, or?
Pardon?
I said, do you think you could make it to Canada before spending all that money, or what are you going to do? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Well, congrats to both of you, and hope to see you next year. Thank you.
Clay Harper, U.S. Open Pro Downhill Series. I usually don't ask questions from this side, but I had one that popped in that I wanted to ask you. What do you feel, well, this is a question for both of you, how do you feel about racing in the open class versus in your age group? We used to see a lot more of the young athletes stepping up into the open class, and you both laid down great race runs. But with the series now, a lot of the kids chasing this series in the United States, and they're not all U.S. kids, but chasing this series, maybe elected not to jump up to that open class. But historically speaking, the open class has been like, that's the hallmark of this event, is that like it's a chance for you to step up and do that. Do you think if you came back, you would race, if you weren't chasing this series, but if you came back just for this event, do you think you would race your age group or open class next time?
I think I would, definitely. Having a bigger challenge would make it, it'd be a lot more pressure, but I think it'd be more fun and really cool to be able to race with all the top athletes.
I mean, yeah, coming here, I thought I was going to race the Open, but then I don't know, I was just in the 17, 18. But yeah, surely next year I'm elite, so anyway, we'll have to race that.
Yeah, I know there was a mix-up with your registration, right? And that's really has a lot to do with like the culture of this event. And if you haven't raced it before and you're coming with your team that's following the World Cup circuit where you have such rigid regulation, rigid rules as to where you can register, it's, I think, just like you weren't even aware that you won this award till afterwards. You weren't aware that you could race the other categories. So it's something that we're going to work harder to maybe share that message with other athletes, especially young athletes like yourselves. But I just was curious if you had purposefully elected to stay in your age group because you were intimidated to race the open class or not. So that's really cool to hear, and we hope you come back next year and race with the big guys. So thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Great job. Congratulations. Great spending your money.
Thanks a lot.
Hey.